Hey guys, it's Fleshcat, and today I'll be showing you how to build a 3x3 piston door in Minecraft that does not have a hole in the middle. Now for a demonstration, I don't need to say much, but if you push the button, as you would expect, the door opens, and when you press the button again, it closes. Like I said, not really much to say here, but I will note that there is no hole in the middle like there are in a number of piston doors, but as a result, the door is also a bit more complicated, as you can see from the redstone. So if this interests you, to build it, you will need 3 droppers, a hopper, 16 redstone, 4 redstone torches, 13 sticky pistons, a block of redstone, 4 redstone repeaters, and a redstone comparator. And you will also need a number of building blocks, along with some wool. The wool is optional. I personally like it because it makes the redstone clearer. You can see the different parts of it more easily. But once again, it's optional. And you also need the blocks for the moving door pieces as well. I think quartz looks nice, but you can use whatever block you want. Now, before we get into things here, I just wanted to clarify that the wool blocks are optional. I just like them because they help to clarify the redstone. So you should start with a 3x7 block area, and then place the wool blocks in their respective colors in these positions. And like I said, you don't have to use wool, but you need either way, you need blocks in those positions, and then a sticky piston facing up. And also, the floor height will be on this block. So you will be standing at this height and the door will be in front of you. So just to clarify, the door does not start at this lower level. The redstone starts lower than the actual door does. Things may seem a bit crazy right now, but don't worry. So first start off with a couple of temporary blocks, and then a dropper pointing towards you this direction, a dropper pointing straight up, and then a dropper pointing in this direction, and then a hopper facing down into this dropper, and then break those temporary blocks. Next, you want a redstone repeater that is facing into this dropper, and then a comparator leading out of it into a block, another block after that block, and then a piece of redstone dust. And then you want a block next to that piece of redstone with a sticky piston on it. As you can see, it is sticky, it is not a standard piston, and then you want a block of redstone there. Next, you want a redstone repeater set to 4 ticks on this block of wool. Make sure that it's set to 4 ticks all the way to the left. Right next to it, you want to have a sticky piston. So you can place one down below it, place another one on top of it, and then break the lower one. And next, you will need a block of wool with a piece of redstone dust on top of it. And then you will need a sticky piston facing up with a block of wool on top of it. And then you will need another block of wool next to that piston with a redstone repeater on it, set to 1 tick with a block of wool off the end of it. Now, this next part needs to be done in a very careful order. So place any item in this dropper. It doesn't matter. It can be lime wool. It can be anything. It really does not matter at all. And then go over and place a block off the end of this redstone repeater, and then a block above it, and another block next to that block, and then put redstone on all of those blocks. And next, you need another block next to this block, as you can see, and then place a repeater set to 4 ticks, pointing into the sticky piston, which you should place on top of the previous sticky piston that you placed in the last step. And now, come over here and place another block on top of this wool block, and put a piece of redstone down at this level, and then put a redstone torch off the end of that block, and then put a block above that redstone torch with another redstone torch coming off the edge of it. And now, you need to do this just right. Place a sticky piston, and it will extend, and then place a piece of light blue wool on the end of it, and you can see that piston will extend. That is perfectly fine. And then finally, you should place a redstone torch on this block, and when you place it, the redstone repeater should turn on. Moving on to the next step, place a sticky piston above this extended sticky piston, and it will extend into the side of the sticky piston. That's perfectly fine. And next, you should build the door frame. So the one corner block will go over the dropper, and then the other one will go over this block of wool. So 5 blocks across this direction, and then 5 blocks, 5 blocks, 5 blocks, and then that leaves a 3x3 opening in the middle. Okay, next you should place a redstone torch on top of this block of wool, and then a block of wool above it, and then another block of wool off to the side, and then another block, and then wool on top of the door frame, another block, and then wool in that shape, as you can see. So it is 1 block out from the edge of the frame, and then you should place redstone all along the top of this. And then you want to place sticky pistons, just like that, and then break those temporary blocks. And then you want sticky pistons facing down, and then sticky pistons there, and one there as well. At this point, you're ready to add the regular door blocks in. So you want to place one of your standard door blocks in those 3 empty spaces, and then place them in a ring shape. So 8 of them, and then leave a hole in the middle. And then that center hole can be filled by a special block. In this case, I'm using the chiseled stone bricks block instead of the regular quartz, but whatever you want to use in that centerpiece. But I think it does look nice to use a special block there. And then you want to just fill in the door frame slightly. This, obviously, you don't have to do this, but I highly recommend doing it. It helps to fill in the door and give it a finished look. And then there you have it. And now to confirm that everything is working as it should be, if I press the button, the door will open. And if I press it again, the door will close, just as you would expect, so there are no concerns there. And now one last thing to mention is activation methods. So you can activate this with a single pulse. So I would recommend running a redstone repeater into this bottom dropper, either from this side or from this side, whichever works the best for your particular arrangement. So a button works great. You could use some other hidden activation method. You could use a pressure plate. So feel free to combine this door with any other design of activation method, just as long as you're getting a single pulse and not something like a lever. Here's a pressure plate system, for example. So I walk over the pressure plate, the door will open, I walk back over them, and the door will close. And all this is just pressure plates on blocks with redstone dust underneath it, and then that is running into the redstone repeater. But as always, feel free to adapt this to suit your needs. Anyway, if you have any questions, please feel free to leave a comment. And if you enjoyed the video, perhaps find it useful, please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already. And for those of you who have subscribed, thank you for 100 subscribers. And here's to 100 more. And if perhaps you don't want to leave a comment, you just have a suggestion or feedback in general, feel free to send me a message on Twitter as well. But anyway, I will see you in the next video.